welcome back to another costume video. In this video, we are going to be talking about the costumes worn by Matt. Matrim Cauthon, yes, that Matt, in season 2 of the Wheel of Time TV show. And the reason I said it like that is, I mean, if you watch season 2, you're probably wondering how on earth there's an entire video just about his costumes, because he's really only got the one. Kind of two. But yeah, so we did not expect this to take up the entire conversation, but we ended up expanding our conversation just talking about Matt in general. So yeah, and I should just say, if for some reason you're watching this video without having watched any of the others in the series, when I say we, I am joined by Pez. Pez, who is the costume expert, the reason for these videos in the first place. She very famously watched season 1 of The Wheel of Time without having read any of the books, and just based on the costumes, she was able to predict things in the story. There are a lot of subtle hints in the costumes of the show. And I'm also joined by Bree, who is one half of the best-selling fantasy romance author duo, Kit Rocha. Their most recent book is called Concert of Fire, which is really fun, very, very sexy, book that I do highly recommend, so you should check that out. But yeah, like I said, we're going to be talking about the costumes worn by Matt. The spoilers in this video are going to go through to the Towers of Midnight, so very, very far along in the series. If you have not read that far, this is not a safe video for you. But if you have, I guess we are good to go, so let's get into it.
Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy. Let's be nerdy with Let's Be Nerdy.
I'm feeling quite dapper in Shadar Logoth today.
Oh,
Very inappropriate. I might touch some cursed treasure. I don't know.
Oh no.
Or take candy from a suspiciously named stranger in a magically appearing van.
Very possibly. I mean, this is the hat of someone who would do that. So,
I mean, yeah. There's someone specific you want to talk about today? Do you have any grievances to air?
Well, I mean, I'm wearing my Two Rivers plaid, and I am in the cursed city. So I guess if you wanna pull up our boy. I mean, do we really have to do a Matt video? The poor boy.
I mean, he has the two costumes.
He does get. Oh, there's a duck.
You didn't notice the duck? How did you not notice the
Wait,
duck?
has it been here the whole time?
It's not been here the whole time.
Don't gaslight me.
But the duck appeared like maybe 30 seconds ago. You didn't notice the appearance of the duck.
Okay. It's all normal.
It's not the weirdest thing I've ever done.
Obviously, we are beginning with Matt in, dire straits.
Our baby, he has been wearing this bathrobe since he rolled out of bed.
Like a year ago.
In the Two Rivers.
He's been wearing this for a year. Like, the fact that it is still not like it is still cohesive and not like tatters, and I have to say is a testament to Two Rivers workmanship. It really is. Yes.
And probably also to his own mending skills, because I don't feel like Leandrin was fixing things for him as they fell apart,
I feel like that's not the case. The more I look at it, the more I get mad at season 1 Rand. Like, you could have shared your coat. You had to. You had to.
So the thing that I do love is this costume absolutely 100% tells you this is Matt. For people who weren't, following news of the series online and stuff, like my mom watches the show because I got her into it. She had no idea they had switched Matts. None.
Oh, she didn't even notice.
She did not even notice that it was a different Matt. So
it's a whole different
props
face.
to them for that, because even though it's to us the same costume, like it looks the same, right? They would have had to completely recut things, size them for this actor, distress them to this point. That's a lot of work. It really is. And it's a lot of skilled work. So props to them for all of that.
Oh, look at how raggedy those cuffs are getting.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that wonderful?
Or is that a blanket?
So
is that a tattered edge of a blanket?
No, that's his cuff.
That's his
cuff unraveling.
You can see the plaid. Yeah. Like, and look at that.
Oh, just...
And they were pretty tattered in season 1, but they've obviously gone back, and in addition to having to resize the coat or remake the coat, whichever the case may be, they clearly went back and added additional distressing, which is great.
I am going to be real. If I weren't
paper.
one of the people who, like, knows every single rumor that was going on, I would not have noticed the Matt switcheroo. I mean, I'm pretty face blind to begin with, so they would have just stuck him right in there, and I would have been like, yeah, it seems legit. Wait, they changed actors? You sure?
Yeah, I don't know if I would have noticed. I honestly don't know. I don't know if his face would have told me. His voice might have. His voice is different. Yeah.
I mean, my mom didn't watch season 1 and then go straight into season 2 either. She
Right.
watched season 1 when it came out, and then she watched season 2 when it came out.
Right. So we're dealing with like a year and a half. What is it? Year and a half, 2 year gap. Yeah.
Right. But I think for a lot of people who are fans of the show, it's probably a similar thing where, they like the show, but maybe they didn't necessarily go back and rewatch season 1. There's a great recap at the start of season 2. So there's not much we can say about Matt's costume that we haven't
already said
before last season, honestly.
Yeah. But in case somebody maybe is just picking, like some people maybe didn't watch the first season 1, can you talk about the plaid? Just because.
Yeah. So they've been using plaid as the Two Rivers textile. So they've got a signature textile for each kingdom, each land or major location in this world, and plaid is what they're using for the Two Rivers. They're using it for all of Andor, which is the kingdom that the Two Rivers is in, but the Two Rivers in particular, it's like hardcore plaid all the way. And so Matt has this beautiful plaid overcoat that doesn't fit him very well, which gives the implication that maybe it was a cast off of his dad's from whenever the family was doing better, assuming that they had been doing better at some point in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something he begged, borrowed, or stole. It clearly never really fit his body that he's in right now. And I think that's such an interesting thing with where his character goes in this season, that his clothes never really fit the person who Matt becomes.
Yeah.
Because so much of Matt's journey in this show in particular is about not knowing who he really embodies.
Yeah.
And so having his clothes kind of falling off of him is great.
Yeah. That is aided by this woman who is, what's the opposite of a therapist? Like,
a dark friend?
Yeah, I suppose, yes. It's the opposite of mental
life coach, which maybe sorry to the life coaches out there. The good ones.
Leandrin, we all know you're selling Lululemon.
Yeah.
Just good. Oh, Lord. But yeah, you're right. They really don't fit him. Like, it's just falling off of him here.
They never fit him right. And to me, that's one of the more technically impressive aspects of the costuming for the show, because this is an actor with completely different body proportions. Like, there are very, very few people who have identical body proportions.
Of course,
and most of them work as Disney princesses. Because they make one costume, and if you fit it, you get the role, and if you don't, you're out. Right. Like, making it look like it fits him in exactly the same proportions that it did last time when it didn't fit him in the first place, to me is super technically impressive for this very raggedy, beat up costume.
See, here we go.
This is one of my favorite season 2 costumes.
Yes. I just was so happy to see him. Yes. I was so happy to see him. Like, Matt, you have clothes.
And you took a bath.
Smell bad. You took a bath. Your hair is combed. I'm so happy for you. Oh, it's so nice. Look at him. He's got multiple coats. This is vindication for me.
It does. And so I love this costume. This is literally one of my favorite things in the whole season. There are so many secrets hidden in this one costume, and it's fabulous to me.
Yes, I remember your notes from this, so please.
Ooh, I don't. I have specifically not been looking at Pez's notes because I want to be wowed and surprised.
Okay, so there's layers to this costume, right? Like,
yes,
so the
literally
outer garment,
layers. There's one,
yeah,
two,
literally
three.
layers. So the outermost garment to me reminds me of some of they called them burnous that were picked up by Napoleonic soldiers when Napoleon decided it was a good idea to invade Egypt. Napoleon was a jerk. putting that part aside, it reminds me a lot of that specific style of, is it a burnous? Is it a Western European garment that's vaguely styled like a burnous and that they're calling it that?
Okay, what, are you talking about this thing
Yes,
here? That
yes,
like
the
this
one that has like the
this
little red
here?
stripes on it and
Okay,
the deep hood. So it's like a
right.
cloak without the cloaky parts.
Okay, okay.
To me, for lack of a better term. So
Like
there's
a
no
vest
sleeves on this
cloak?
garment, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like. Wow, it is.
So the first thing I noticed is there's the red trim, right?
Hmm.
So this is all a lie. This is still the dream world,
Yeah,
which I can't remember if we actually know that as an audience at this point or not, but it's fake. It's fake. This is a
yeah,
vision, but he's got the
The
red
red and
stripes
maroon is
and he's
almost the
got,
same color as her stuff too.
yes, and
yeah,
yeah, and we do know this is the dream world by this time in the show because this is
okay.
the final scene of '90s Vision.
Right, right, right.
Right.
So he's got that, and so to what to me that implies, right? This specific garment implies like I went off and I had an adventure in the desert and now I'm back,
Hmm.
which for
Right.
book readers,
Yeah.
there's some
He did go off.
implications there, right?
He did have an adventure in the waste, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So under that is a paisley
Yes.
jerkin, and that is a Tyron Lord's garment,
Yes. He's out
and
here.
that's why I love it.
Yes. He's out here dressed like a tyrant lord. You're a
Yeah.
bloody lord, sir.
Which is the first place for those who've read the books. It's the first place where Matt really starts to get fancy clothes in the
Hmm.
book. Matt goes to Tyr. Matt makes various life choices along the way, but he gets dressed up as a Lord of Tyr. And I
Yeah.
think that is honestly what they are going for with
Yeah.
this doublet or jerkin. I mean, at first, it's a very nice textile. It might actually technically be a brocade or a jacquard rather than a paisley, but I think they were going for the
For
Tyr vibe
Tyron.
with it
Yeah.
because we haven't seen anywhere else that has anything else like that to this point.
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
definitely not Two Rivers, right? It is not plaid.
No. I don't see a hint of plaid. Well,
Is
no,
that
that's not plaid.
underneath?
That yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the shirt, that striped one, and we do
Hmm.
have a nation that specifically uses those kinds of stripes, and that's
Oh.
layer 3, Andor.
Ah.
So he's wearing an Andoran Lord's shirt, a Tyran Lord's jerkin, and possibly a silk type garment that came from trade with the
Mm.
waists. And that's
Wow.
where I love this costume.
It's like,
That
there's
is
your
cool.
spoilers, sir. Yeah.
I did when I saw this. I mean, it looked like plaid to me, and like the one thing that jumped out because
Mhm.
obviously I'm an author. I was like, oh, he's got the two rivers closest to his heart
Aw.
because
Yeah,
that's
and I
just.
mean, it doesn't rule out plaid.
But
It's more
Andor
of like
still,
it's not even really a houndstooth, but it to me it reads as Andoran for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what it really tells the audience who haven't read the books is this is not the Matt we've been seeing. I mean,
Mm.
obviously he's cleaned, he's
Yeah.
bathed, he's shaved, he's wearing nice stuff. I think she even calls him Lord Matt at some point.
I
Mhm.
think so,
Um
yeah.
he's obviously come back from somewhere. He's had dashing adventures. There's a little bit of a Robin Hood flair to him, right? Like this
Mhm.
is the guy who went away and somehow got into money and became something he originally wasn't. So I thought that was interesting, but it gives us a view of a world that we haven't really fully seen. Like none of
Yeah.
these textile patterns have shown up on anybody else to
Yeah.
this date. Now the one thing that about the block print there on the blue textile
Mhm.
is that does remind me a little bit of some of the things that we've seen in Kyrian.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's definitely not the same dye technique that we've seen for like this is Kyrian. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching for similar patterns on civilians if we see any who are
Yeah.
associated either with the Aiel or book readers know we might see a trade caravan going
Mhm.
into the lands where the Aiel are. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm going to be watching for, you know, confirmation bias.
Yes.
You know, looking at this picture,
But that's
too,
why I was
go
so
back
excited
for
by
a second, Jenny.
Go
back for a second.
Yeah.
The other thing that, like, looking at this picture is just look how simple they are compared to him. Like these just basic colors, and then he is like 17 different,
like pattern.
rich,
Yeah.
intricate patterns. There's just this. She has chosen the simple life on every level.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, the other interesting thing is there's only one other, well, technically by this point, 2 other characters that we have seen who wear this abundance of color and pattern, and that is the Glee Men.
I was going to say the Tuatha, but they, yeah. You're right.
The Tuatha wear a lot of colors, but they don't
but not the
necessarily have
patterns.
this number of prints, patterns, and
Yeah.
textiles. So, like, they do a lot of stripes and things that can be easily woven in, but not so much this kind of, like, the fancy weaving, like what he's got for the doublet, and not as much of the prints that I can recall. That doesn't mean it's not there, just not what I can recall.
No, I think you're right, though. I think they don't have this kind of pattern.
Different cultural vibes too. This is man of the world stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
for sure.
I've been everywhere.
It's because it's so many. They're very distinct. Like they're not,
and they look good together.
Yeah,
which is impressive because it's a lot going on.
The other thing with this doublet that you can see in some of the body shots where it's further out from his face, he's got some metal buttons on that doublet.
Oh, hold on, let me go.
Ooh, fancy.
I think if you zoom in on
I just
the one
saw
where he's standing, go forward.
This one?
Sorry.
This one?
Zoom in. Right there.
That's a metal button, yes.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
a sign of, like,
the
wealth
fact that
and
he
stuff.
has any buttons is impressive when you think about his other costume.
Yes, which is just held on.
Falling off.
I was going to say, it's held on by hopes and dreams. Like, that is the only thing keeping that outfit together.
And all of these seams are nicely finished. The only thing that looks a little ragged, and it's not, is the green edge of this. I'm going to call it a burnoose for lack of a better term. So if you go back to the photo where it's zoomed in on him.
Which one?
Yeah. So you can zoom in on this green edge of the blue and white area.
Oh, here,
you see threads. That's not actually an unfinished seam. I'm pretty sure that is a raw silk. And with certain silks, if it's woven finely enough, you can actually leave like that edge.
Okay.
And it won't unravel. So I think I'm reading it, I'm interpreting it as he got fancy stuff.
Right.
Am I hallucinating?
Right. Okay.
Am I making this up, or was silk a mysterious land beyond the waist thing?
Yes, it was.
It was
totally a mysterious land beyond the waist thing. Yeah, and there's like a whole scene at one point where somebody's trying to convince them that it's made from worms, and they're like, "What are you talking?" Like it's a whole thing. Yeah.
Honestly, that's probably part of why I paid so much attention to Shara, because once they bring in trading textiles, I'm
Yes. I'm assuming then you've heard the story about the priests who brought worms back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I very much want like a Coen Brothers movie about them, like the heist, of bringing silkworms back from Asia.
There's that. There's all of the silkworms dying, leading to the collapse of France. I mean, we got options.
Yes. Just it's right for a story.
Oh, Matt, I can't wait till you get a new costume next season.
Yeah,
I'm so happy for you.
I see any way he won't get a new one next season, especially after the way this season ended for him.
Yeah.
All of his friends are fired if they
if they don't get him new clothes. Yeah.
Like every time I look at his clothes, I get madder and
All
madder.
else aside, I'm expecting that if he stays in Elaine's orbit, she would be offended by how poor subject is dressed and take him to a tailor.
Very much so. Later. Oh yeah, Mom also very, very
plaid.
Yeah, she's got multiple plaids.
Yeah, very strong plaids on. Yeah.
Oh, Matt's very conveniently raven carved spear.
Listen.
Yes.
I am sort of notorious for giving Matt a lot of shit, like book Matt, when we're having discussions, because I think Matt in the books has a strong misogyny vibe, and I'm not into it. Every time I watch this, every time I watch reactions of this scene, I freaking tear up.
Yeah.
Donald Finn.
Me too.
Donald Finn, you go. I mean,
so good.
When he just stands up straighter and pulls his shoulders back, and it's the first time we've seen Matt not slinking.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. That's the reason I had this shot, and I wanted to talk about it. It was wild to me how all of a sudden he looks like a movie hero. Like,
he does.
In
same clothes, but it's just...
Not crappy costume, but these crappy clothes.
But, yeah.
He is totally believable, not only as one of the fantastic heroes who have appeared behind him, but he is totally believable in this moment as their leader. And up until this point, would you have called Matt a leader of anything other than possibly the Two Rivers Juvenile Delinquents Program? No.
No, not even a little bit.
It's really, really impressive body work and performance. It's stunning.
Does everybody?
It is amazing. Like he looks like an old school hero, like a 1930s movie hero. Is what he looks
it's like Errol Flynn type stuff.
Errol Flynn. Yes, that's exactly what I said in my video. Like, whoa, you look like Errol Flynn. It's wild.
Do you guys
definitely have that vibe going on?
Do you know the story about why this scene was so cool?
No.
I mean, aside from the fact that it's so cool?
No, there's a layer to this. Apparently he was filming something else on this this very place, like this bridge thing.
Oh my god.
When he got the call that he was cast in the Wheel of Time.
Oh, so cool! That is so cool.
He said it in one of the interviews. It might have been Carly's, somebody, one of the interviews that they released that huge press glut a little while ago, and in one of the interviews he talked about how he got really emotional because this is where he was standing when he found out he was cast in the show, so it had this whole full circle layer to it. And I was like,
that is incredible.
I love that. That's
so thematic for becoming Matt too. You've just become him a second time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, props to everybody involved in the scene. I know there's a lot of people who are not super into the styling of the Heroes of the Horn, and maybe we can do a special Heroes video.
We can. I have a folder full of them.
So love the scene. I sometimes just go and watch it, or I watch reactors watching it. And the first time watchers who didn't know the book, oh my god, how excited they got. They were crying too.
Yeah, my sister literally was like, this is going to make me cry. She has such a soft spot for Matt. It was breaking her heart all through the season. And she's like, oh, he's a hero. She got so happy for him.
And the fact that we got Uno back.
That
I knew they were going to bring Uno back. I was like, they have to bring Uno back as a hero. They have to. There's a reason they did that, but I was still very happy when we got him back.
I didn't know. I had no it was surprised the fuck out of me. I had no idea.
There was that person on Twitter, I don't remember who it was. It's one of the Uno adjacent accounts who had been asking for it. They were doing the 17 days I've been asking.
That was Rob. That was Malkier Rob. Okay. Malkier Talks.
Yeah. So somebody was doing it. So so it wasn't one of the Uno accounts, but I was seeing retweets of it, and I was thinking, I didn't actually think it was going to happen. So when it did,
see, I immediately assumed. I was convinced it was going to happen as soon as they killed him.
I had forgotten completely, actually.
I had no idea.
So when he showed up, I was like, I freaked out.
That's fair.
That's falling out the back of my head.
I fully metagamed it. I was like, Uno, I love Uno. He doesn't really do much, so I'm fine. That was how I was in my head. Okay.
I forgot he was dead needed someone to die.
Oh, you forgot? Yeah, it happened in episode 3.
Yeah,
so there's a lot else going on in episode 3.
I hadn't internalized it because it's just I'm so used to the storyline of the books, right? Where he's got lots of random appearances. So when I saw it though, I got so emotional. Also, I was still a little bit distraught because I think this was directly after the Hopper thing, and I had also forgotten that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I completely
You forgot about Hopper?
Man.
Oh.
I forgot that Hopper. I forgot because like he's
that would be hard if you forgot. How would you?
Because he's still in the books, right? It's just I forgot that there's a very important thing that happens before he continues to be in the books. And it happened. And my husband was so mad at me. He's like, "Why didn't you warn me?" And I was like, "I didn't know it was coming. I forgot." He almost turned the show
like
off
2 seconds.
Clowns.
Yeah, I remembered like 2 seconds before it happened. Like I saw Hopper coming. I was like, "Yes! Oh no!"
Yeah. He came in and I was like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Yeah.
So yeah, I was emotionally compromised already. Oh, Matt.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Love him.
That is entirely fair.
Never thought I'd say it, but love you, boy.
Yeah, I totally do.
Listen, the show glow up effect is real.
It is.
I love Matt in the books, but that's like largely because of my mind edits. Like it's my mind edits of like I have so many of them, and it's not just Matt. Like Lan, my fave Lan. Nothing bad happened during his and Nynaeve's first kiss. Nynaeve and Lan's first kiss was perfect. Nobody was punching anybody or kicking anybody to stop.
Bodice ripper shit, you know?
No, but it also just didn't happen because my brain, it didn't happen. Shut up.
I just have show goggles. Like watching the show first, I feel like that was probably a major improvement for a lot of the main characters.
Right. Yeah. I like the way I justify it. I think somebody even said this in the Wheel Take server, but my brain is like, this was Loyal writing this down. Loyal wasn't there. He's hearing it secondhand. That's what happened. It's just.
Did Loyal also write Robert Jordan's romance novels? Because that boy needs therapy, if so.
Loyal does not understand human romance. We've solved it. We've solved the issue.
Solved the problem.
He's like, I don't know. What do people think are hot? Calves.
Yes.
Calves.
Yes, that's
Spanking.
it. Yes. Calves and spanking. That's it. Loyal was it. That's it. He doesn't fully understand humans. I get it now. It all makes.
Is the spear a costume? Should I comment on it? There was a lot of drama because Brandon Sanderson, after he did this, Brandon Sanderson did a little watch of the finale, and it was quite controversial, and I'm not going to, crack it all open. But at one point, he just, told fandom that he was pretty sure that was going to be Matt's, Ashendare, yeah. I keep calling it the Shonda Rhimes because of Allie from Wheel Takes. That this was just going to be it, and that he wasn't going to get another one. This was just it. And I just want to say, you guys, if you really think that in season 2, they're just done leveling up Matt's accessories, they're just like, okay, well, he took a bedcloth strap, ripped his bathrobe in half and tied something to a stick, and that's all this epic hero's going to get for the next 6 seasons. Come on.
And I love
how this
Pinterest
works.
spear. That's what I've been calling it.
The Pinterest spear.
So it's carved with ravens. It's carved with weaves. I love both of these things very much. But
yeah, Ishii had a melodramatic bed frame.
Ishii.
Yeah.
What's more goth as a bed frame than ravens? I mean,
it would be from the Shanshan. The Shanshan would have carved it. I honestly don't see the ravens, but I don't know. That could just be my eyes.
It's hard to see them in certain spots. You can see it at the top there a little bit. There's a wing carved in, and here you can see the head.
Yeah.
The bird head.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
So what I love about this is we have a Shanshan pole arm, essentially, right? We have this pole that he's grabbed, presumably from a Shanshan bed.
Yeah.
Tied to it is the dagger of darkness that he picked up on his bad road trip.
Yes.
With cloth binding that he's brought from the 2 rivers. This is Matt. This is Matt's story right here.
It's his
Plaid
story
binding
here,
together darkness and ravens.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
It is thematic and it is cool. I do not think it's the last weapon he's going to use for the rest of the series.
Oh, no. I don't think so either.
Everybody breathe. Everybody breathe.
Yeah. Until he said that during that reaction, it had never even occurred to me. Now, again, now he has said in post reaction conversation that he does not have confirmation of that. He is closer to the production than we are, so it's possible. I also, until he said it, that hadn't even occurred to me, and I still don't think so because yeah, it's tied together with cloth.
I mean,
I think at the very least we'll see this being upgraded. I wouldn't be shocked if these themes stay with it.
Yeah.
But
I still
we're gonna
think
see
that
upgrades.
I still think we're gonna get Snakes and Foxes. Like I was just starting to listen to the Shadow Rising again because my sister's going through it now because she finished book 3. So I want to refresh my memory before I talk with her about book 4. And we got like one of the snake. I in my mind, like in my read, we just got the first Snakes and Foxes. Like I still think we're gonna get Snakes and Foxes. I think we'll just
I
get
think
one of them.
we'll get it. I don't think it'll be exactly as it is in
No,
the
I
book.
don't think. I
Because
absolutely don't think it will.
as a
Yeah,
visual medium, that would be. I mean, it's
difficult
weird
to
in
have.
the book.
And I also think it will be difficult to do it twice. Like the confusion of having, because they look similar, and I get confused, and I've read the books dozens of times
Yeah.
between which one is which. So I think just having one, and he can still get, because he has to. Like people are only thinking about the Ashendari. He also has to get his medallion, so he has to
Right.
get that from somewhere. And
So
I'm
we'll
not
definitely
entirely
see it. They've
sold
been setting it up.
it's gonna happen.
you know,
Okay.
Because, well, I'm not saying it's not either. I'm just saying from a
Hmm.
metaphysics standpoint, they are doing their best to like minimize the, oh yeah, wait a minute, here's another completely new magic system that they keep dumping on the
Yeah.
audience. And oh, wait a minute,
It's
now
true.
there's doors to alternate worlds where fae people like fairies that want to eat you or emotions live, and sometimes they grant wishes and sometimes they don't, and it's not really relevant except for like
Yeah.
we get some loot from them, and then like in 18
Yeah.
years they may come back. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, that's
I
like that.
wouldn't be
'Cause I-
shocked if we see them, but I really expect it to be like truncated because they haven't
Oh,
set up much of it, and I would have expected them to be laying out the if they were going to be major in season 3, I would have expected to see some threads of it in season 2 because when they made season 2, they knew they were getting season 3.
yeah.
I again, I'm not, obviously I'm purely, this is my guesses, but I still think we're gonna, I'm at like a 60 or 70% we're gonna get it because the medallion. Also, there's so many other, like we've had the what do you call it, foreshadowing of Moraine going through a door. That, like, I do think that we need something. Also, we've had the foreshadowing of Matt opening things with this. Like, I'm obviously now I'm realizing how far I have to go with spoilers, but opening something with something similar to this. So I think there needs to be something. Like
I
we've
do
laid
think
groundwork
that
for things.
beats
Yeah.
of it are going to happen, emotional beats. I'm
So-
just
Yeah.
not sure. Even like truncating it almost feels worse to me because then we have to build an entirely different world, do the design for an entirely different set of species, which means like the makeup, costume, style,
Yeah.
like everything. I
CGI.
mean, yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. So, I mean, I feel like they're either going to simplify the magic or they need to work it. I mean, give me Moraine's adventures in, you know,
The
the
thing
other
is,
world.
I don't think we're going to see, like, if I'm remembering correctly, Matt, Moraine, and Rand all use the doorways.
Yes.
I
I don't think we're gonna get that.
I don't think we're going to get Matt
Yeah.
because we already did. Here's the thing. So much of what we get in Matt's visions, in his interactions, happened with the bad Ishi trip tea.
So, okay. I always thought that was more of like his flicker. But okay.
It's a little bit of his flicker, but it's also some of the visions. Like, we kept seeing him get hanged.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 Yeah,
I think they're exploring things like the tea getting us into the metaphysical rather than necessarily just the gateways.
I mean,
tea,
again, this is
dream
all
yard,
speculation.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
This is
we're
all
all
anyway,
guessing.
speculation,
sorry,
but yeah,
we've veered out of costumes.
They have not
Yeah.
put enough stuff in there yet for us to know either way. I just think, you know, it's
Yeah.
a lot. Whatever we see, it's not going to be anything like we are imagining. I think. I think
It's not going to be anything like in the books.
yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
find some interesting
will,
way because
yeah.
they have continued to do that. They've found really interesting ways
They have, yes.
to bring the emotional character beats into a completely new plot. And I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we don't know is part of the fun. How fun would it be if we
Oh,
knew
it
what was
totally is.
coming?
It totally
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
It's great. Like for me, I've speed read the books basically, and I have
Mm,
only this vague idea of some of the major beats. I have not been disappointed by anything. And I think for the people who have been like, "Oh, this scene has to happen exactly this way," for 20, 25 years, how can you possibly live up to that? You
you
can't.
can't, because everybody has it different in their head.
Yes,
Like
you
that
can.
is
Exactly.
one of those
Because
things I
they
think
did
people
it with
forget.
Naive Test. I'm sorry, they did it with Naive.
Okay, that's fair.
That
That's
Well,
was
fair.
but
But
like,
it's not going to be everybody, right?
no.
It's
yeah,
Breeze, and that's fantastic, but it's not going to
yeah.
be everybody's.
Like even that, like I love the way they did Nynaeve's tests in the books. But if you'd asked me before the show, or in the show, I mean, I prefer the way they did it in the show. But if you'd asked me before, that's not how I would have described it. Like not even a little bit, because it's different. It's like
Yeah.
it's perfect, but it's not what I would have said. Like
Oh,
you
it's exactly
haven't
what I
lifted it from my
guessed.
mind.
But it's what
Yeah,
I guessed, not what
nice.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I did not think they were going to have some random forsaken nobody's ever met or cared about chasing Nynaeve around. Like that was
yeah,
obviously
yeah,
not going to happen.
yeah.
No.
It was so
No, no.
clearly going to be her
Also,
as
Okay.
a
I
kid.
just and just random side note, but staring at this picture of Matt blowing the horn, give it up for the TJ Maxx table lamp horn embellier.
I am going to admit,
If you put a lampshade on it, it looks like a lamp.
I
it is
guess. Yeah,
so
I get.
gold. I was like, oh, can we de-shine that a little? I mean, I guess it's
I actually
fancy.
love that it's that gold though, because it's so completely not of this world, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
everything else that we've seen is dirty, weathered, and worn, and here's this thing that looks like it was just made. And I
yeah,
love that because it's completely otherworldly, and that helps with for those who don't know what the horn is going to do, which is pretty much everybody who's been watching the show and
yeah, yeah,
hasn't read the books. It's great because it's like the shiny gold thing summons dead people. Okay, sure.
yeah, yeah.
I loved when he
I did
first
not
blew
think
it.
about the horn all that much.
All the reactions, and people were like, can Matt control time now? And I was like, that's amazing. Maybe Matt has the power
Yeah.
Who
of
knows?
slow-mo.
Yes, slow mo power.
Yes.
Yes,
Matt is in
slow
bullet time now.
motion, slow motion.
Well, and
We're
honestly,
walking in
that
the
would be
club in slow
such a great
motion.
Slow motion, slow motion. That's how cool we feel.
You can't see me dancing.
for the dice. Like when the dice are rolling in his head, he's basically seeing possibilities play out, right? And we
Yeah.
Oh,
can't see
yeah.
inside his head, but
Yeah,
dilating time, letting him see this possibility, that possibility, and decide the path forward, and then the path forward is the one we see in reality. That would be great.
Absolutely. I love it. I mean, that
Yes.
feels very in tune with what like they're doing with the wolves, too.
Right, so there you have it, our conversation about the costumes worn by Matt. The first question I'll ask, even though it's not necessarily about his costumes, it's more about his accessories, is do you think that that is his final Ashendare? I don't know, like obviously Brandon Sanderson said that he thought it was, but then he also did backpedal a bit on Reddit afterwards saying that he has no proof of that. That was just his assumption. So I'm just curious, because until he said that, it honestly hadn't even occurred to me that that was even a possibility. He is obviously more in the know and more knowledgeable about how TV works and everything than random avatar on the internet. So I don't know. But what do you think? And also, what do you think about all of it Pez was able to pull out of his costume from Nynaeve's accepted test? Because that was amazing to me. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my content and you want to support me, I do have a Patreon that is also linked in the description below. To my patrons, as always, I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for your continued support. Truly, it does mean the world to me, so thank you. And with that, I am going to end this here. So please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!